How did one funny line at a crowded party turn into divorce papers placed in my hands before lunch? Why did he walk out quietly while everyone stared, and then answer me with a lawful move that made me look small in daylight? What was I supposed to do when a stranger said he had documents for me, and my son asked why Dad was not coming home? My name is Melisande Hensley Quinn, and people call me Meli because it sounds soft and easy. I worked at the front desk of Dr. Patel's dental clinic. I answered calls, booked cleanings, and smiled until my cheeks hurt. I told myself I was a good wife and a good mother. I said I carried the whole house in my head like a calendar that never closed. Ethan was my husband. He worked in IT and liked neat lists. He liked early mornings and quiet nights. He liked to fix things without telling anyone. That used to feel safe. Then it started to feel like a cage, even if he never said I could not leave. I kept telling myself he was the kind of man who took all the air in a room by being reasonable. I said he made me look dramatic just by being calm. That week started like any other. At the clinic, the phone did not stop. A patient complained about a bill. Another patient arrived late and blamed me. Dr. Patel asked why the schedule had holes. I said I did not know, and that people cancelled last minute. She asked if I was distracted. I said I was tired because the kids were sick. It was not fully true. The kids were fine. Around noon, Gavin Rowe came in with a box of sample toothbrushes and a bright smile. He was a sales rep who visited clinics like ours. He always had a clean shirt and a loud watch. He called me Meli, like we were old friends. He asked if I had time for a coffee later. I said maybe, because I was so busy. He said busy women were his favorite kind. I laughed like it was nothing. I told myself it was harmless. I said I needed someone to talk to who did not look at me like a duty list. I also said Ethan would not care if he tried harder. That was my favorite trick. If I wanted something, I said Ethan pushed me there. After work, I went to the break room and checked my phone. Ethan had sent a simple message asking what time I would be home. I stared at it longer than I should. I did not want to answer with a real time. When a person gives a time, they can be held to it. So I typed that the clinic was short-staffed and I might be late. That was half true. We were short-staffed, but I also wanted space from my own kitchen. Gavin sent me a message right after, as if he watched my screen. He said he could meet near the gym cafe, just for a chat. I did not answer right away. I liked making people wait. It made me feel important. I told myself Ethan never made me feel important, even though he did small things every day. I did not count those things anymore. On the drive home, I practiced my face in the rearview mirror. I practiced tired. I practiced polite. I practiced the kind of look that says, "Don't ask me anything." It worked most days. In the kitchen, Ethan was cutting fruit for the kids. Noah sat at the table with crayons. Ivy banged a spoon on her tray and laughed at her own noise. The room smelled like dish soap and apples. Ethan asked how my day was. I said it was stressful and that people treated me like a robot. He asked if I wanted him to warm dinner. I said I was not hungry. He asked if something happened. I said he always made it about him. He paused and looked at me the way he did when he wanted to be careful. He asked why I had been coming home later. I said the clinic needed me. He asked why my phone was always face down now. I said I did not want the kids grabbing it. He asked why Gavin's name kept popping up on my notifications. I said Gavin was a vendor, and it was work. Ethan did not raise his voice. That almost made me angry. I wanted a fight because a fight gives me a reason. Calm makes me have to look at myself. He asked if I could stop meeting vendors alone. I said he was being controlling. He asked how that was controlling if he just wanted boundaries. I said boundaries were a word people use to hide jealousy. He said he was not jealous, he was worried. I said worry was still control, just in a nicer jacket. That night, after the kids were in bed, I stood in the doorway of the living room and watched him fold laundry. It looked ridiculous, like he was doing a job interview with a pile of shirts. I asked why he always acted like the hero. He asked what I meant. I said he made me the bad one without saying a word. He asked if I felt unhappy. I said I felt unseen. He said he was trying. He said he asked me out last weekend, and I refused. I said that dinner was boring. He said we could plan something else. I said he should already know what I wanted if he really knew me. He went quiet. Then he asked if there was someone else. I laughed, but it sounded too high. I said he watched too many movies. I said if I wanted someone else, I would not be stupid about it. I said that to insult him, but also to calm myself. Ethan stood up and walked to the hallway. He picked up his phone and tapped the screen. A calendar alert popped up and lit his face blue. I saw the words for a second. Meeting personal. He noticed me looking and turned the phone away. He said it was nothing. I said he was hiding things too, so he had no right to ask me questions. He said it was not the same. I said secrets were secrets. Later, when he went to shower, I opened the laptop on the couch. I told myself I was only checking the budget. I said a wife had a right to know. The browser had a few tabs open already. One was about storage options. Another looked like delivery tracking. Another said notary near me. I felt a small spark of fear, but I pushed it down. I told myself Ethan was just being dramatic with his systems, like always. I closed the laptop fast when I heard the bathroom door open. I picked up my phone and pretended I was reading a message from Kara, my sister. Ethan asked what I was doing. I said I was checking tomorrow's weather. He looked at me for a long second, like he was counting in his head. Then he nodded and went to the kitchen. I followed him. The kitchen was darker now, only the stove clock glowing. On the counter, there were 2 mugs. He had placed them far apart without thinking. It looked like a line in the middle of the room. He opened a drawer and took out tape. He said he needed to fix Noah's school folder. His hands moved slow and sure. I tried to pull him back into an argument. I said he was cold lately. He asked how he was cold when he still did everything for the kids and the house. I said love was not chores. He asked what love was to me right now. I said love was feeling chosen. He said he chose me every day. I said that did not count if it felt forced. I said respect follows results, and I had results. I meant my looks, my social life, my attention. I wanted him to feel small. I told myself it would wake him up. Ethan did not react the way I wanted. He just looked at the counter, then at the sink, then back at me. He asked if I heard myself. I said he was being sensitive. He said I had changed. I said he was finally noticing me. When we went to bed, he did not touch me. He lay on the edge of the mattress. The room felt wide. I stared at the ceiling and told myself I was right. I told myself he pushed me away first. I told myself this was what happens when a man forgets to keep his wife happy. In the middle of the night, I woke to a soft sound in the hallway, like paper sliding. I opened the bedroom door a crack. The printer light was on. A blank page sat in the tray, like it had just been born and abandoned. I heard Ethan's steps in the other room, slow and measured, and then a quiet click, like a drawer locking again. 2 days later, I went to the rooftop bar with Brielle and Kara after work. I told Ethan it was a quick girls' drink and I would be home before bedtime. I said it like a promise, because promises make people stop asking questions. Ethan asked if I could bring home milk for Noah's cereal. I said yes, even though I knew I would forget. I told myself he cared more about milk than my feelings. At the clinic that day, Gavin had left another comment on my photo. It was a simple compliment, but it sat in my head all morning like a warm coin. I kept checking my phone in the supply closet. Dr. Patel asked if I could focus on the new patient forms. I said I was on it. She asked if I was okay. I said I was just tired. I acted like work was the problem because it sounded adult. In the elevator to the rooftop bar, Kara kept smiling at my reflection. She said I looked like I was finally waking up. Brielle said I deserved to feel wanted. I did not correct them. I liked how their words made my choices sound like a reward. The bar was crowded and loud. There were office groups and birthday balloons, and people taking photos near the railing. The city lights made everyone look richer than they were. Brielle ordered drinks and told the bartender it was a celebration. The bartender asked what we were celebrating. Brielle said I was still young and still winning. Kara laughed too hard and said I needed to stop acting like a married mom. I told them I did not act like a mom. I said I was the fun one at home. I said Ethan was the one who acted old. I said he made everything serious. I did not mention that he was the one who packed lunches and set the kids' clothes out. Those details did not help my story. Brielle asked how Ethan was doing lately. I said he was moody and always suspicious. I said he acted like I needed permission to breathe. That was not true, but it sounded good in a crowded place. Kara said Ethan always looked like he was about to complain. She asked if he still tried to lecture me. I said yes, even though he mostly asked questions, and then stopped when I snapped at him. I checked my phone and saw Gavin typing. He sent a message asking if I was at the rooftop place downtown. I did not answer right away. I showed the message to Brielle like it was a trophy. She said it was cute that he noticed me. Kara said I should post a story so he could see. I said I did not need attention from a vendor. Then I posted anyway. A few minutes later, Gavin's name appeared again, this time under my story views. Brielle leaned closer and said it was obvious he liked me. I said I was not responsible for other people's feelings. Then I said Ethan never made me feel like that. I said Ethan had no spark. I said marriage was not supposed to feel like a job. Leah and Troy showed up later with a few friends. Leah greeted me with a careful smile. Troy asked how the kids were. I said they were fine, and I made a point to look carefree. I wanted people to see me as light, not burdened. I wanted them to look at Ethan later and think he was lucky to have me. Ethan arrived late, like he always did when he had to do bedtime alone first. He looked tired. His hair was still neat, but his eyes were flat. He asked if I was okay. I said I was having fun and he could relax. He asked why my phone kept lighting up. I said it was nothing. He looked around at the group and tried to smile. Troy asked if Ethan wanted a drink. Ethan said he was fine. Kara said Ethan always acted like he was too good for parties. Ethan said he was just tired from the week. I jumped in and said he was always tired. I said it like a joke, but I meant it like a complaint. Brielle asked Ethan if he remembered our last outing. Ethan said he did. Brielle said he had been quiet then too. Ethan said he did not like loud places. I said he did not like anything that did not scent to him. That was a sharp line, and I watched his face for a reaction. He did not react much, and that made me feel like I needed to push harder. Later, Ethan asked why Gavin kept commenting on my posts. I said Gavin was a vendor, and it was good for the clinic. Ethan asked if I met Gavin outside work. I said no. I did not like how the word outside sounded, like a boundary line. I told Ethan he was being paranoid. I said he was turning nothing into a problem because he liked problems. Leah watched us for a moment and then looked away. I saw it. I felt her judgment, and it made my skin hot. I told myself Leah was the jealous type. I told myself she wished she had my attention. That thought helped me stand taller. Kara lifted her phone and started filming short clips of us laughing. She said people loved couple content. Ethan asked her to stop filming. Kara said it was just for friends. I told Ethan not to be dramatic. Ethan asked why I was acting different around them. I said I was finally myself. When Ethan went to the bathroom, Brielle leaned in and said I should not let him control my mood. Kara said Ethan needed to learn. I asked, learn what? Kara said, learn that I was not a pity project. I smiled at that phrase even though it was ugly. I told myself it was just a joke. I told myself jokes were how people told the truth without consequences. Ethan came back and asked if we could leave soon. I said we just got here. He asked if I could be home for the kids in the morning. I said he was acting like I abandoned them. He said he did not say that. I said he implied it. He went quiet again, and I felt like I won. On the ride home, Ethan did not talk much. He asked if I had fun. I said yes. He asked if I noticed how Kara kept teasing him. I said he needed thicker skin. He asked why I let them tease him. I said he should not care what they thought. At the driveway, I saw his car backed in, pointed toward the street like he wanted an easy exit. I told myself it was nothing. Inside, the house was dark and calm. Ethan walked to the garage desk area. I heard a small click, like a lock turning. He opened a drawer and closed it again. I watched him from the kitchen doorway. On the edge of a shelf, I saw a folder with a clean label that said, Bank. I asked what that was. Ethan said it was household stuff. I said he never cared about household stuff before. He said he always cared, and I just did not notice. I told myself he was trying to scare me with papers and systems. Before bed, I checked my phone and saw Gavin had liked my story again. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself it proved I still had choices. Then I looked at Ethan's back as he lay down, and I felt a strange, cold worry. It was not guilt. It was the fear of losing control. The party at Troy and Leah's place was on a Friday night. Their house always looked like a catalogue. Everything had space around it, like it was important. I arrived with Cara and Brielle first. I told Ethan we would go early and leave early. I said I wanted to be responsible. I also said it would look good if we showed up as a strong couple. I knew what I was doing. I wanted a stage. Leah greeted us at the door and asked how the kids were. I said they were fine and that Ethan was bringing them later to say hello. Leah asked if that was a lot for a Friday. I said Ethan liked to play hero and insisted. That was not true. Ethan only wanted the kids to see friends and feel normal. But I liked making it sound like he was doing it for attention. Inside, the living room was full. There were snacks on a long table and music that people pretended not to dance to. I saw a few people from the rooftop bar. I saw some of Ethan's co-workers too. I felt that small thrill I always felt when different worlds met. It made me feel like I was the center of something. Brielle took out her phone right away. She said she wanted a few clips for memories. Cara said the same, and started filming the food, the balloons, and the crowd. I told myself it was harmless. I also told myself cameras were useful when you wanted control. If you had the video, you had the story. I drank faster than I planned. Not enough to be sloppy, but enough to feel brave. Cara kept leaning close and asking if Gavin would show up. I said he would not. Then I checked my phone and saw a message from Gavin asking what I was doing tonight. I did not answer. I let the message sit there, bright and tempting, like a secret candy. Leah's friend Maren asked how long Ethan and I had been married. I said 8 years, like it was a badge. Maren asked if marriage felt different than dating. I said it felt like you learned who people really were. I said some men stopped trying after the wedding. I said it like a lesson, and people nodded because lessons make them feel safe. When Ethan arrived, he came with Noah and Ivy. He held Ivy's jacket and Noah's hand at the same time, like he had practiced it. Troy met them and thanked Ethan for coming. Ethan said it was fine and asked where the kids could sit. Leah pointed to a quiet corner with a small toy basket. Ethan thanked her. It was normal. It was kind. I hated how normal he made things, because it made me look like the unstable one. Noah ran to the toy basket. Ivy clung to Ethan's leg for a second, then reached for a cookie. Ethan wiped her hands with a napkin. He looked at me and asked if I was okay. I said I was great and asked why he looked tired. He said he had a long week. I told him everyone had long weeks. I said it like I was teasing him, but I wanted him to feel weak. Cara came over and asked Ethan if he could try smiling for once. Ethan said he was fine and asked her to not film the kids. Cara said it was just for friends. I stepped in and said Ethan worried too much. Ethan asked why I wanted everything online. I said it was 2025 and people shared things. He said sharing was not the same as performing. I rolled my eyes and said he always used serious words to sound right. As the night went on, the adults started a party game. It was one of those games where people ask personal questions and pretend it is harmless. Troy asked if we wanted to play, and I said yes before Ethan could answer. I liked games that put people on the spot. It gave me chances to steer the room. One question was about first impressions. Someone asked, who in the room had the worst first date? People laughed and pointed. Then someone turned to me and asked what made me choose Ethan. They asked if it was love at first sight, or if I needed convincing. The tone was light, but I felt the power in it. I could make the room adore me or pity me. I chose pity because pity makes a person look noble. I said I never thought I would end up with someone like Ethan. I said he was not my type back then. I said I was younger and had higher standards. I watched faces lean in. Brielle lifted her phone a little higher. Cara did the same. Ethan asked what I meant by not my type. I said he was safe, not exciting. I said he was good for stability, not passion. People made small noises like they were watching a show. I told myself Ethan deserved it because he had been cold lately. I told myself I was only being honest. Then I said the line that made me feel clever in the moment. I said I was in a pity marriage, like I had done him a favor. I said it with a laugh and a shrug, like it was a joke everyone should accept. The room reacted in a strange wave. Some people laughed too quickly. Some people went quiet. Leah's smile dropped for half a second. Ethan did not laugh. His face changed, not into anger, but into something blank. He asked if I truly thought of our marriage like that. I said he was being dramatic and that it was just a phrase. He asked why I needed to call him a pity choice in front of everyone. I said it was a party and I was allowed to speak. I said he always tried to police my words. Troy tried to change the question and asked someone else about their first date, but the room did not recover. A few people kept their phones up like they did not know how to put them down. I noticed Ethan's co-worker Jonah looking at his shoes. I noticed Maren looking at me like she finally saw something ugly. Ethan asked if we could talk in the hallway. I said we could talk later and that he should stop trying to ruin the mood. He asked if I realized the kids were in the house. I said the kids were fine and they were playing. He asked if I wanted Noah to hear people laughing at his dad. I said Noah was too young to understand. I knew that was false. Noah understood more than I liked. Ethan stepped back like he had been pushed, even though I did not touch him. He looked around at the room, at the phones, at Leah's face. He nodded once, slow, like he accepted something he did not want. He asked Cara to stop filming. Cara said she was not filming him. Ethan said he could see the red light. Cara said it was not a big deal. I said Ethan always imagined enemies. Ethan walked to the corner where the kids were. He crouched and told Noah it was time to go. Noah asked why. Ethan said it was late and they needed sleep. Ivy started to fuss. Ethan picked her up and put her jacket on with one hand. Noah looked at me like he wanted an answer from me. I said we would talk at home. Noah frowned, like he already knew that meant nothing. As Ethan carried Ivy toward the door, Brielle whispered that he was being so sensitive. Cara whispered that he was doing it for attention. I told myself they were right because it protected me. I told myself a strong man would laugh it off. I told myself I was the one who was brave enough to speak truth. At the door, Ethan turned back and looked at me one last time. He did not beg. He did not threaten. He did not insult me. He just looked tired and finished. Then he left with our children, and the cold air rushed in for a second before the door closed. The room stayed quiet, and I could hear someone's phone make a soft beep, like a recording had just been saved. I went home alone after the party, and I told myself I was the one who was wronged. I walked into the house like I owned the air. The living room was dark. The TV was off. I could hear the dishwasher, slow and steady, like it did not care about my feelings. Ethan was not on the couch. He was not in our bed. I climbed the stairs and saw the guest room door pulled almost closed. I stood on the landing and listened. The house felt too quiet, like it was holding its breath. I knocked once and said I needed to talk. Ethan opened the door only a little. His face looked flat again. He asked what I wanted. I said he embarrassed me. He asked how he embarrassed me when I was the one who spoke. I said he made a scene by leaving. He said he removed the kids from a bad moment. I said the moment was not bad until he acted hurt. He asked if I knew how many phones were up. I said that was not my problem. He asked why I let Kara film. I said Kara was family and he should relax. He said family should protect you, not use you. I said he was calling my sister a user. He said he was stating what happened. I tried to shift it fast. I asked why he always needed to be the victim. He asked if I truly believed he was acting. I said yes, because I needed that to be true. I told him he was too sensitive. I said a real man would laugh and move on. Ethan did not shout. He did not insult me. He asked me to lower my voice because the kids were asleep. That made me angrier. I wanted him to break so I could point and say, "See?" Calm made me feel exposed. He asked if I wanted to sleep in our room. I said yes, because it was my room too. He said he would stay in the guest room. I asked if he was punishing me. He said he was making space. I said space was a trick people used before they left. He looked down the hallway and then back at me. He asked if I had anything else to say. I said he was ruining our family over a joke. He said the joke was not the only issue. I asked what he meant. He said he was tired and he would talk when it was calm. Then he closed the door softly. I went into our bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed. My phone buzzed with messages. Cara sent a clip from the party and wrote that it was wild. Brielle wrote that Ethan was being weird. Leah did not message me at all. That silence bothered me more than any insult. I watched the clip. My own voice sounded sharp. The laugh after my line sounded fake, like I already knew it was cruel. I did not like hearing myself, so I did what I always did. I rewrote it in my head. I opened my social apps and posted a story with a sad song. I did not name Ethan, but I made it clear. I wrote about being humiliated and treated like I was nothing. It was a lie, but it was a useful lie. I told myself I was protecting my image. I told myself a woman had to speak first or people would twist it. My mother Diane called me right after. She asked what happened. I said Ethan stormed out of a party and scared people. Diane said Ethan always tried to make me look bad. She said I should not let him control the narrative. I said I would not. She told me to stay strong. I felt proud, like I was in a battle I did not start. The next morning, Ethan moved through the house like a quiet machine. He made pancakes for Noah. He cut fruit for Ivy. He did not look at me much. When he did, his eyes did not ask for anything. That made me feel less powerful, like I could not pull him back with a single word. Noah asked why Dad slept in the other room. I told him Dad had a headache. Noah asked if Dad was mad at me. I said no. Dad was just tired. Noah watched my face like he was checking if I believed my own words. I hated that look because it made me feel like a child caught stealing. Ethan said he would do school drop-off. I said I could do it. He said it was fine, and he already packed Noah's bag. I asked why he acted like I was not needed. He said he did not say that. I said he implied it again. He did not answer. At noon, at the clinic, Dr. Patel asked if everything was okay at home. She said I seemed tense and distracted. I said my husband was being dramatic. Dr. Patel asked what that meant. I said he took jokes too seriously and liked to punish me with silence. Dr. Patel told me to keep personal issues away from the front desk. I said I was fine. In the break room, I checked my phone and saw the party clip had been shared. Someone had reposted it with captions. My stomach dropped, but I did not show it. I wrote to Cara and asked her to take it down. Cara said it was already out. She said I should lean into it and make Ethan look worse, because people loved a storyline. That was when I realized Cara was not helping me. She was feeding herself. After work, I went to the playground to pick up the kids with Ethan. I told myself I was being a good mother by showing up. Parents were there in small groups. A few looked at me too long. One mother gave a tight smile and then turned away. I heard my name once, quiet and fast. It felt like stepping into cold water. Ethan arrived with the stroller for Ivy. He did not hold my hand. He stood a little apart. Noah ran to the slide, but he kept glancing back at Ethan, like he needed permission to laugh. I asked Ethan if he told people about our private life. He said no. He asked if I posted about it. I said I posted feelings, not details. He said feelings could still hurt people. I said he was trying to blame me for how people reacted. He said I was blaming him for walking away from public disrespect. A dad nearby lifted his phone like he was checking a message, but the camera lens pointed toward us. I noticed. My chest tightened. I stepped closer to Ethan and lowered my voice. I asked if he planned to leave me. He said he planned to protect the kids from chaos. I asked if he was calling me chaos. He said he was calling the situation chaos. On the way home, we stopped at the supermarket. At the checkout, Noah asked if we were still a family. I said of course, because families do not break from one party. Ethan said families needed respect to stay safe. I told Noah that Dad was being serious again. Ethan did not correct me. He just put the bags in the cart and kept his face calm. That night, the guest room door stayed closed. I heard a low, steady sound behind it, like a machine chewing. It stopped, then started again. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself Ethan was doing work tasks, like sorting old papers. Still, when I passed the hallway, I smelled that faint toner smell again, and my fear came back, quiet and sharp. Sunday night, my mother called and said we needed a family dinner. She said the air was getting poison and someone had to speak like adults. I agreed fast because I thought a table full of people would force Ethan to behave. I believed crowds made him softer. I also believed I could steer the story if I had witnesses. We met at a family restaurant with a long table near the back, the kind with warm lights and loud plates. My parents came first. Diane wore her supportive mom face, the one she used in public when she wanted to look wise. Mark sat beside her and kept looking at the menu like it could save him. Ethan arrived with Noah and Ivy. He carried Ivy's small sweater and Noah's water bottle. He did not ask me if I wanted anything. He did not touch my back the way he used to in doorways. He simply nodded, like I was a coworker he had to sit with for an hour. His parents came a few minutes later. Patricia walked in, like she already knew the ending. Robert stayed close to her, quiet and stiff. Cara and Brielle showed up too, even though I did not invite them. Cara said she was family, and Brielle said she did not want me to face it alone. I pretended to be grateful, but I felt a tight fear. Too many mouths meant too many versions. We sat down. Noah slid into the seat next to Ethan without thinking. Ivy reached for Ethan's hand under the table. That small choice bothered me more than it should. I told myself the kids were being trained against me. I told myself Ethan was doing it on purpose, even though he was just sitting there. The waitress asked if we wanted drinks. Diane ordered for herself. Cara ordered something sweet. Ethan asked for water. I asked for water too, but I said it louder, like it was a statement. Ethan did not look up. Diane started first. She said she did not like what happened at the party. She said Ethan leaving made things worse. She asked why he could not just take a joke and discuss it at home. Ethan listened without interrupting. When Diane finished, he asked if she wanted a real answer or a polite one. Diane said she wanted peace. Ethan said peace was not pretending. He said the party moment was not a joke to him. He said it was public disrespect. Diane said I was joking and people were laughing. Ethan said laughter did not make it kind. Diane said I was under stress. Ethan said stress did not excuse cruelty. I jumped in before he could keep going. I said he was acting like I hit him. I said he was being dramatic and cold. Ethan looked at me and asked if I heard my own words. I said he was twisting things. He asked how he was twisting it when the room heard it. I said the room heard a joke, not my heart. He asked why my heart needed a joke that made him small. Kara tried to help me by attacking him. She said Ethan always acted offended. She said he was soft and needed to be tougher. Robert's face changed at that. He told Kara, indirectly, that respect was not softness and that a man did not need to accept being mocked to prove strength. Kara looked shocked, like she never expected an older man to disagree with her. Brielle said everyone says stupid things at parties. She said Ethan leaving was like a performance. Patricia did not look at Brielle. Patricia asked Ethan if the kids were okay after leaving. Ethan said Noah fell asleep in the car, and Ivy cried for 10 minutes. Patricia nodded, like she was taking notes inside her head. Mark cleared his throat and asked if we could talk about solutions. I almost laughed. Mark always wanted solutions that required no one to admit fault. Diane said the solution was simple. Ethan should come back to the bedroom, stop acting like a judge, and we should move forward. Diane looked at me like I should start crying on cue. I tried. I said I felt lonely. I said Ethan stopped seeing me. I said he treated me like a roommate. Ethan asked what I meant by seeing me. I said I wanted attention and romance. He asked if I meant I wanted him to read my mind. I said he should want to. He asked when I last asked him for something directly without insulting him first. I did not answer. He then asked if I had been honest lately. The way he said honest made my stomach tighten. I said yes. I said I was always honest and that was my problem. I said people could not handle my truth. Ethan asked if honesty was why my phone stayed face down. I said the kids grabbed it. Ethan asked if honesty was why I left the house with work excuses and came back with no receipts. I said he was tracking me like a creep. Robert shifted in his seat. He asked Ethan, indirectly, if Ethan was tracking me. Ethan said no, and that he did not need to track his wife to note his patterns. He said it was about choices and consequences. Diane said consequences sounded like a threat. Ethan said consequences were just reality. Noah suddenly asked why everyone was mad. His voice was small, and it hit the table like a dropped spoon. I felt heat in my face, and I blamed Ethan for it. I said Noah should not worry because Dad was just upset about a joke. Ethan looked at Noah and said he was not mad at Noah. He said adults were talking because they needed to make the home calm again. Noah asked if Dad was leaving. Ethan said he was not leaving Noah. That answer made my chest hurt in a way I did not want to name. The waitress brought food. People tried to eat like normal. The sound of forks was too loud. Ivy dropped a piece of bread and started to cry. Ethan picked it up, cleaned her hands, and gave her a new piece without looking at me. Patricia watched him do it like she was proud. I leaned toward Ethan and asked, quietly, if he wanted to ruin the kids' lives. He asked how he was ruining anything by setting boundaries. I said boundaries were punishment. He said boundaries were safety. I said he was acting superior. He said he was acting careful. I tried a different angle. I said the internet was already talking and we could fix it if we showed unity. Ethan asked what unity meant to me. I said it meant he stopped acting hurt in public. He asked if that meant I could keep saying whatever I wanted, and he had to smile. I said he was making me sound bad. He said I was doing that on my own. Kara whispered that Ethan was humiliating me at the table. I grabbed that idea like a rope. I told Ethan he was humiliating me in front of our parents. He asked how, when he was not calling me names. I said his calm was a weapon. He said my public jokes were a weapon too. At the end of the meal, Ethan took out his phone to check the time. I saw a missed call with no caller ID. I also saw a small alarm label for a second before he turned the screen down. Paper drop. My throat tightened again. I told myself it was work. I told myself it was nothing. Still, I felt the room moving under my feet. The waitress brought the check. I reached for it, but Ethan put his card down first. Diane said Ethan did not need to pay if he was angry. Ethan said he was paying because the kids ate and because it was the right thing. He stood up and helped Noah put on his jacket. Then he looked at me, not with hate, not with sadness, but with a steady, blank calm. He said he would handle it properly. The next morning, I woke up with a dry mouth and a hard head. I told myself the dinner was a mistake, but also that Ethan would cool down. He always cooled down. That was the pattern I depended on. I picked up my phone and checked messages like I was checking the weather. Kara had sent a string of texts after midnight. She said people were still talking about the party. She said someone reposted the clip again, this time with captions like it was a joke show. Brielle sent one message that said Ethan was overreacting and that I should not beg. Diane sent a voice note that said I should stand my ground and not let a man punish me. I listened twice because it made me feel strong. Ethan did not sleep in our bed. I heard water in the guest bathroom. Then I heard the front door open and close. I checked the driveway. His car was gone, and the kids were still asleep. That confused me. He never left without telling me if he was taking them. I told myself he was being dramatic again, doing a silent treatment move. When he returned, he brought groceries and put them away without speaking much. He made oatmeal for Noah. He cut a banana for Ivy. He moved like a person doing a checklist, not like a husband trying to fix love. That made me angry because it felt like he had already decided something. I asked where he went. He said he had errands. I asked what errands. He said he handled what he needed to handle. I asked if he was trying to scare me. He said he was trying to be responsible. I told him responsibility was not running away. He said he was not running away. He said he was moving forward. Noah came into the kitchen rubbing his eyes. He asked if Dad would do the soccer practice later. Ethan said yes, if the schedule allowed it. I did not like the word schedule. It sounded official. It sounded like I was not the boss of the week anymore. After breakfast, Ethan asked me to keep my phone away from the kids and to not post about the family again. He said it calmly, like he was reading a safety rule. I said I could post what I wanted. He said I could, but there would be consequences. I said that was a threat. He said it was not a threat, it was reality. I decided I needed backup. I called Diane. I told her Ethan was acting cold and talking like a lawyer, even though I did not know if that was true. Diane said men only act calm when they plan something. She told me to stay near the kids and keep control of the house. Her words made me feel like I was in danger, even though Ethan had not done anything illegal or violent. I used that feeling like fuel. At noon, I went to pick up Noah from a friend's playdate. Ethan said he would handle it, but I said I wanted to go. I wanted to show I was present. In the car, I practiced what I would say if people asked questions. I planned to call the party clip taken out of context. I planned to say Ethan left because he was embarrassed of me being social. I built the story piece by piece like a wall. In the school pickup line, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. I ignored it once. Then it buzzed again. I answered, annoyed, and said hello. A man asked if I was Melisande Hensley Quinn. I said yes. He said he had documents for me, and he would meet me at the office tower lobby on Riverside Avenue, near the cafe, in the next hour. I asked who he was. He said he was a process server. My throat went tight. I told myself it was fake. I told myself Ethan would not do that, not him. He was too quiet, too normal. But the fear felt real, and fear has its own logic. I drove to the lobby because I needed to know. I walked in with my sunglasses still on, like that could protect me. The lobby was bright and full of people with badges and coffee cups. I saw Ethan near the far wall, not close enough to touch me, but close enough to witness. Patricia stood a few steps behind him, holding Ivy's little hat in her hand. That made my stomach drop harder. It meant this was planned. It meant I was late to a plan. The process server approached and confirmed my name again. He handed me an envelope and asked me to sign that I received it. I said I would not sign anything. He said the signature was only for receipt. Ethan did not step in. He did not raise his voice. He only looked at the floor for a second, then back up, like he was keeping himself steady. I grabbed the envelope anyway. My fingers shook. I opened it right there, because I could not breathe without seeing. The first page said divorce. It said it plainly. It also listed temporary rules that started now. It said limits on spending from joint accounts. It said who stayed in the home and how exchanges would work with the kids. It said dates and times for a parenting schedule, written like a simple grid. I felt heat rush into my face. People in the lobby glanced over. I turned to Ethan and asked if he really filed. He said yes. He said he filed last night after the party because he would not live inside public disrespect. He said he would talk only about the children and the process, and only in calm ways. He said if I tried to post lies again, it would be handled properly too. I wanted to cry, but I wanted to shout more. I said he was punishing me for one joke. He said it was not one joke. He said it was a pattern, and he had proof. I asked what proof. He said I knew what proof, and that was why my hands were shaking. Noah stepped into the lobby then, holding Ethan's hand. I did not even notice they brought him. Noah looked at me and asked why I looked scared. I opened my mouth and nothing came out that sounded safe. Ethan adjusted Noah's backpack strap, turned, and walked away with him, steady and lawful, while I stood in bright public light, holding papers that made my private story collapse.